This is the best tip you will learn for your Cambridge B2 listening exam part 3. If you stay to the end of the video, you will see a real example of this strategy working with my students. The exam content from this video was taken from the Cambridge website. You can download sample listening tests for free. Please find the link in the description below. Listening part 3. This is what you see when you do the exam. As you can see, there is lots of information to read. We need to simplify this as much as possible. This is what you need to see. It's the only sentence you need to listen for, and that's it. What do you need to listen for? In this case, what each person says happiness means to them. So we need to concentrate only on this question. Listening part 3 gives you 8 possible answers to distract you while you're listening just for one thing. This is not realistic. So you need to hack the exam to make this listening activity as easy as possible. Now, it's important to cover the possible answers the first time you listen so they don't distract you from the audio and the question. If you try to read all the answers while you're listening to the audio the first time, normally, especially with my students, they sometimes get lost. So this is very important. Cover the answers and only focus on the question while listening to the audio the first time. Now, if you're still not sure about how to use this tactic in the exam, please take a look at this example with my students.
Hi, in today's class, we're going to look at listening part 3 of the B2 exam. So, medium, when we get to this part of the exam, we see all this information. But what is the first thing you need to do?
Identify the main idea.
Exactly. And what is the main idea in this question?
What each person says happiness means to them.
Exactly. So I would recommend writing this on a separate piece of paper in big. Okay? And just leaving this question. What does each person say happiness means to them? Because all this information before is too confusing. There's too much information to distract you. Step 2, what do we need to do next, Steve?
Quickly read the answers and cover them.
Exactly. So we need to read all of these answers quickly in the time we have and then cover them so we don't get distracted during the listening the first time. And Medium, what's the final thing we need to do?
Listen to each speaker and take note of the main ideas.
Exactly. So we end up just with the question and then we can take notes while listening. So we can forget about all this confusing information and we make it easier for us to understand. Okay, let's try questions number 1 and 2.
Now turn to part 3. You will hear 5 short extracts in which people are talking about happiness. For questions 19 to 23, choose from the list A to H what each person says happiness means to them. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you do not need to use. You now have 30 seconds to look at part 3. Speaker 1.
What is happiness? From an early age, happiness for me is sitting in a boat in the middle of a lake on a summer's day and doing some serious fishing. All alone, just me and my thoughts. No stress, get away from it all for an hour or so. But maybe not completely aimless, not just lying on a beach somewhere, but having some task to do. Then, when it's all over, it's back to normal life and problems and hassle and having to fight to get what you want. But that brief moment of happiness helps me to reflect and make sense of my life.
Speaker 2. I think to be happy, you do obviously need some financial security. Not rich, I didn't say that because there's an important difference. Also, I'd say you need humour in your life. That's kind of obvious too. Having lots of free time to do what you want. Not sure there. I'd say quite the reverse, actually. For me, you really appreciate your moments of leisure when you've done lots of hard work. If it's all play and no work in your life, then you don't enjoy it. So for me, it's all to do with setting yourself a list of things to get through, and then you've completed them. Now you can be happy.
Okay, Median, what do you have for speaker 1? What notes did you
He
take?
likes spending time alone and doing activities for his own, like fishing and shaving.
Okay, and likes fishing. Okay, good. Median, what did you hear from speaker 2?
She likes making a list for activities to complete.
Making a list of... Good. And Eve, did you hear anything else?
She doesn't like having much free time.
Okay, so now just for this, I'm going to...
Now you can see my students have focused just on the question and the audio. They've taken notes for each speaker without looking at the answers. This way the students are not distracted by all these different options the first time you listen, because everybody knows in listening exams students sometimes feel anxiety, they get nervous and they get lost. So this way students focus completely on the question and take notes. And normally the notes they take will easily match with the correct answers, as you can see now.
Uncover the answers, and which one looks like a possible answer do you think for speaker 1?
D,
The
because it said that happiness is a sort of escape from everyday routine, and he like spending time alone
Okay, so this,
for escape for his problem.
okay, this could be possible. And for speaker 2, which could be a possible answer? This one's a bit more difficult. Maybe there are 2 you're thinking about at the moment.
H.
H. Why?
Because she likes making a list of activities to complete.
So, as you can see, some of their notes already match possible answers. This is because when they were doing the listening the first time, they are just focusing on the question and taking notes. They are not getting distracted by all these possible answers. Now, the second time they do the listening, they can uncover the possible answers and now focus on finding the correct answer by matching their notes, listening to the audio and choosing the answer which is closest to their notes. Now remember, this may take a bit of practice to get used to. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times until you start seeing the benefits of this tactic. So please try it out, and I would love to hear from you in the comments to see how this went. And don't forget, please like and subscribe to help me with the development of this channel. See you in the next one.